Hi everyone, my name is Lars Hansen and I grew up going to Dumbarton. I'm just old enough that I actually remember the day, not well, um, that Dumbarton decided to become a reconciling congregation. Um, I was downstairs uh, in the kids' room, um, first during the service and then a much longer time afterward. And I remember it being a little bit strange, but just a day when there didn't seem to be great joy, maybe a little bit of relief, but a very business-like sense of having to do something right, having to record votes correctly, and make a momentous decision. If I'm being honest, I was maybe, a young boy. I maybe would have been pointed at. Not saying I was, but maybe it would have been pointed at as the kid, you know, in generic terms, that this would all be affecting if the church went this route. Um, and, so that's something that I do think about to this day. But really, what happened when the church went this route? Initially, not much. Did Dumbarton lose members? Maybe. I don't remember. But what did happen was gradually, over time, we did start getting some newer members. Would we have done it anyway? Probably. Do I remember seeing more gay, lesbian people in the sanctuary? Perhaps, but it didn't register very much. What I did notice was people felt comfortable coming to church and being themselves. I noticed the people who were good at art or knitting, or the people who made good muffins for coffee hour, or the people who were interested in history or education in the district, or were passionate about something. I think, if anything, being reconciling simply meant that I could see a whole group of people being themselves. And maybe that wasn't true in the church for, for all the people who, had been so marginalized before. And so that was something I've come to much, much later. But I'm glad that we did have the opportunity to see that, because it does make a difference as you're growing up to see people as people, and to know that people can come from many different backgrounds, have different beliefs, but all be part of the same church family. Have a firm belief that all those people are loved by God in the same way. And so that's what I took from growing up in a reconciling congregation. Simply that you have the ability always to, to connect with people on a personal level, and everybody has value, and you just need to find it. So.
Hi, Dumbarton family. My name's Hannah Hansen, and I grew up in the congregation. My mom's Lorette Pachano, who still attends there, and my dad and stepmother used to attend there as well. And that's part of the story and part of being in a reconciling congregation. My parents did get divorced, and it was, I think, a healthy decision for our family. But it's really clear in the Bible that that's a sin. What's not as clear about sin and interpretation is how different people love. And so that was never a question growing up at Dumbarton. And I have the gift in working for the General Church, in growing up, even in Northern Virginia, when I did, that I didn't have to unlearn some really unhealthy things about sexuality, and about what family could look like. And so I think the biggest gift that Dumbarton has given me in raising my own family, in working for the church, and working for social change, is showing all different forms of love and what love can look like and what family looks like. And even when mine wasn't at the healthiest state, that there was a church community around us, but love with two dads and adoption, love that changes and surmounts even when family members can't understand, is really impactful. And truthfully, Dumbarton gave the best sex education that I had had in my life, even if we were kind of awkward about it in 6th grade and 7th grade. But those understandings, those foundations, and conversations coming from a place of faith, coming from an intergenerational community, coming from people that honestly cared what I thought about as a child and as a youth were really important to me. And so when the United Methodist Church is going through so many difficult times of change, it is still grounding to be able to weep with those of you when we need to weep, to be able to celebrate, to be able to strategize. And I just pray that God's hope and peace stays with each of you as we find our ways and our voices. And I wish I could ask each of you, what do you think about what's going on today, about what you are passionate about? Because Dumbarton always gave me the space to do that. So I think being reconciling is so important for the work that we are doing today and the work of full inclusion, but it also is so important in really caring and seeing where people are. And so thank you for giving me that space as a young person. And I hope we can continue to do that for all the young people that are growing up in Dumbarton, and all of us as adults and becoming parents, and all of the different spaces that we're in, truly understanding our identities in God. Thanks so much.
Good morning, Dumbarton. Your wide welcome not only encompasses those who have grown up in this congregation, but also to many students and young adults who have found their way to this hidden gem on the side streets of Georgetown. By being a leader in welcoming LGBTQ people, students from Wesley Seminary and American University in particular found spiritual home here at Dumbarton. And sometimes we welcome young adult missionaries into our midst, like one Rachel Cornwell. These students and young people came to be interns and youth ministers. They have preached from our pulpit, designed our worship, served us bread and cup. They experienced Dumbarton's wide welcome and have modeled that in their careers. Some as local church pastors, both inside and outside of the United Methodist Church, as nonprofit leaders, activists, and community organizers. And some of us, well, we just can't leave you behind. You taught us how to love ourselves, how to be loved, and to love others as God loves us. Happy reconciling anniversary, my friends. Shine brightly.